I think I'm good. I think I'm ready. So let's share it to one more place just to make sure. I wish they would allow you to share this on Instagram. So let's take a picture and live on YouTube now. Week 1 update for 1 book, July 2020. Oops, not a Z, period. Link in bio. Okay. Okay. Right. How long do you plan to be on? Probably about an hour. It is 3:59 now, so it's like right at 4 o'clock. So I figured maybe till 5. Can you hear me okay? Is everything okay? Why video is clear and audio is good, but the video is smaller than average. It doesn't fill the space. Okay, let's go in OBS. And okay. Yeah. Okay. Video. Alright, it's not gonna let me change anything there, so let me go to this. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm still working on all of this, y'all. So let's try something different. Let's go to OBS. Center to screen. I don't know why it's not on there. Damn it. Settings. Okay. Video. I went in and changed a bunch of things in OBS to fit Mac better. So we've got full window projector, preview scaling. Do you have a full screen option? Yeah, but if I put full screen option, then my whole screen on my desktop is going to be filled with it. There's something I've done somewhere in the settings that, see, it's looking like it's full on OBS. It's taking up the whole screen on OBS. So, but for some reason, it's not doing that here. And y'all, let's say, stretch to screen. Oh, God, no. So let's undo that. Oh. Okay. Fit to screen. I'm getting closer. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Make my face smaller. I have been playing around with everything, so now let's try this. Fit to screen. And then we're gonna go transform. We're gonna rotate. I don't know why it's off. I have no idea. Okay. That's better. It's more central, but still doesn't fill the screen. Looks like fisheye filter. It's better centered, but still smaller. Dual screens overlapping. Yes. See, I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's not, this is not how it's supposed to look, but that's okay. I'm like, what in the hell? Let's go to, all right, let's center to screen. We're gonna go this, and we're gonna go center to screen, and we're gonna take this, put it down here, move this somewhat. Now let's give it a second and see if that works. I'm gonna have to play around with things more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with things more. Okay, like I'm like, I don't know. It's so different for Windows than it is for Mac. It is so different. OBS is so different. I'm ready to chunk OBS and go with Ecamm, even though Ecamm is paid. This is just, y'all, I'm like, what in the hell? So, can you live with this? Is this okay? Is this okay? It's still not quite right. Let me do a little bit of adjusting here. And I think that might be as good as it's gonna get for now. Might be. Y'all, this is just... Scoot that over a little. Yeah. Okay. It's not... Damn it. Okay. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what I've done. It's all on widescreen, so it should be fitting. I don't know why. Okay, well, I'm getting it out of this part so I can actually see what's on the screen. And YouTube, yeah, we're gonna call that good. Please bear with me as I learn a whole new operating system along with all the gadgets and things that go along with it. Yeah, I've been looking at the best streaming software, uh, and I had everything hooked up wrong. Well, I had things set up wrong. So whatever, I filmed this whole Happy Mail video from Pam yesterday. I opened up the box. It was all, like, I did the whole thing. She sent me these lovely goodies, like some traveler's notebooks and some colored pencils and some notebooks and all kinds of stuff. And I was like super excited about it. Thought I was doing this really great thing and I was filming it. And I'm gonna see if that helps. Okay. I can't stand myself being off center because you can't see me. You can't see what I'm showing. Okay, maybe this will help. No, it's still not friggin' working right. Okay, well anyway, she sent me this box of like amazing goodies. Some of the things I'm going to pass along. And Pam, when you're watching this, thank you ever so much. I had filmed it, but I didn't film it under the right thing, and it will not let me open it. It's not under a movie or an MP4. I don't know how OBS had it set up because I did it under the recording thing of OBS. OBS is kicking my ass. So anyway, One Book July. I have set it up in the Traveler's Notebook from Traveler's Notebook in the standard, and I had like it's been going pretty well. I've been doing lots of figuring out. That's what all of this is. This is things for iMovie, tips and tricks. This is that was yesterday. I've got to finish. I've got a picture to put right here, and then this is my monthly calendar, and then we have my journal. Let's see if I can maybe that will help. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Give it a second. There's a little bit of a lag between OBS and YouTube. So I'm trying. All right. Now we're up closer. Hey, hot diggity dog. So this is the journal. And this was our weekend, over the weekend. And we still have a lot of floor stuff to do. A whole lot. And then back here is my bullet journal. And yesterday my car wouldn't start. My car would not start yesterday. I know, it just feels weird because my picture in picture is my video in video. The little thing of me is not over in the corner where it's supposed to be. So this is the bullet journal. And this is more how to use iMovie. This is applications, advanced, finder, how to do, and then I've got OBS settings. So I went in and I was changing things. I was watching a video on YouTube about OBS settings, and I went in before I came online and I refigured some things. Now my picture, the overall picture is so much better. So much better. But evidently there's something I changed did not do well because my video is got black around it. So that means it's not sitting the way that it's supposed to be sitting on the screen. So I don't know. It's going to have to work for now until I can make some adjustments. I will have to maybe go in and redo a complete settings, like change and do a whole new scene or something. As long as it records and you can see me right now, I'm not going to worry about it because I'm not going to go out of here and then change it and then go back in. That will take too much time. So if you're in the replay, I am so sorry. It's off kilter. but I'd rather be here and be live and be talking, and talking about what I've learned already from One Book July, and how having like the one thing. So I haven't been using anything else. How do you like the Traveler's Notebook that thick and with overhang? Yeah, the picture is very clear and it does look great. So my picture is much better. And it's rainy outside, so I just have the ring light on so you can see me. So this part of it, this part's a little bit darker because the ring light is over this. And I could cut my lamp on, but I'd rather this be the focus than me. So the overhang. I guess I could probably take out something and I would have less overhang. But you know, to be honest, the overhang doesn't bother me because the biggest part of the overhang is back here and I don't even see that. Because once you open it up, there isn't really overhang. It's when it's closed that there's overhang. And if I got a wide, I would be having more stuff in it. And I don't want to put a whole bunch more stuff in it. You have gone back to your TN for One Book July and chosen A5. I am enjoying this immensely. Now, the only drawback is that, you know, I had wanted to try a few different things and I was going to try something different every week. I'm really wanting to stay in this, though. But at the same time, for those of you who like B6 and you like Tomaway River paper, how hard have you searched for a decent notebook? A lot of people have gone to the B6 Stology, which is close to Tomaway River paper, but is not Tomaway River paper. So I've cut down Enigmas, I've cut down the Nami Cafe, I've cut down the Nami 7 Seas notebooks, I've cut down a Breeze from Taroko Design, the Enigma from Taroko Design. I've made my own, I've used Breeze. Yes, this is a beautiful purple color and it's actually showing up purple. So this is an apple pig and Pam sent me this in my Happy Mail box. And within this, I'm going to take this out. Within this is an actual B6 notebook. It's a tad on the small side. So let me get my ruler. It is almost, it's like 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So it's not quite 5 by 7. It's a tad smaller than 5 by 7, which is what B6 is. So this is the, nope, I got it from Amazon. Not from Amazon. I got it from Etsy. They come in like 3 different colors. And this says W222, a notebook. And it is Tomaway River paper. It is grid. So I'm going to show you, oh, my little shark came out. I'm going to show you, it has an actual key. It's called it's by Wonderland 222. It is called Wonder Planner. It's a B6 daily notebook. Are there weird lines on the pages? Yeah, in a way, yeah. So let's see how close I can get it. So you can actually see, so it has a key and it's grid. And then it has an index. And then it has the pages and it has a little thing for you to write the date, and then it has like a time frame. And these are boxes, like you could set it up. Now, if that line bothers you, you wouldn't really be able to, you know, because I don't know. I don't have the best Tomaway TNs come from Paper Penguin on Etsy. Yep, the only thing I don't like about Paper Penguin is that hers aren't sewn. They're stapled, and I do a shit ton of watercolor, and I don't care for staples. I'm not a big staple. I like a bound book. I like a bound book. Now, Rock Your Notebook has Tomaway River paper, and you can get grid, dot grid, lined, and blank. Same as Paper Penguin. Rock Your Notebook is in the United States. Paper Penguin is not, I don't think. but Rock Your Notebook is bound. But if you want something like a B6 but you want actual Tomoe River paper, the grid is very, very similar. Let's see. Here is my B6. Now, this grid is a little bit darker. So if you want an actual notebook, because this has 368 pages, which is almost, I think, the exact same amount of pages as the B6. I think I'm right. I think it says that it's like the 365, but I think it actually has 368 pages maybe in the Stology. But anyway, or it might have exactly 365. But this is very, very, very close. But if you're using it as a planner and you wanted to do like a weekly, how easy would it be to do a weekly right here? Because you've got these grids kind of lightly, they're just a tad darker. So yeah, you can get grid and dot grid from Rock Your Notebook. And Rock Your Notebook has a website and they're on Etsy. So I've gotten inserts from there. But see, this, you can get inserts, but you can't get a notebook. From Paper Penguin or from Rock Your Notebook, you can't get a notebook. And there are a couple of B6 Tomoe River paper notebooks on Amazon, but they have cream colored paper. And I don't like cream colored paper, not in anything really. I have a couple of different Rhodia notebooks, and some of it has the white paper and some of it has that creamy peachy color paper, which I'm okay with for writing, but not for my journaling. I use Rhodia notebooks that have the peachy colored paper in it for my writing. So for planning or for journaling, or for something like that, this would work well because I could write the date or use my little date stamp right here where this date thing is. So it's no different really than having all of this writing right here, you know, like you do in the Stology. And the Stology has the time frame right here. It's just really faint. The grid is much fainter, and this grid is smaller. This grid looks to be about the same as the Hobonichi grid. The grid in the B6 is bigger than the grid in the A5 by Stology. Their A5 Stology, the grid is actually smaller, which doesn't make much sense to me, but that's how it's set up. So, I don't, but this notebook, y'all, this notebook is so, how cute. Saw an article going around Facebook today in regards to Tomoe River paper quality of paper being produced is changing. From what I gathered, it's going to be just tiny bit thicker. So I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I like 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, which is what they call their artist grade paper. That's what's in the Enigma and the Breeze by Taroko Design. You can also order 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. See, like, this is the grid from the Idea Notebook from the Jibun Techo thing. And see, that's even smaller than this. That's even smaller than in the Wonder Book. Or the Wonder Planner. So I don't know. I may or may not save this to use for something different. That's what I'm thinking I might actually do, is not use it as, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe actually using it as a journal. Because I don't know. But I'm trying things out, and then I'm like, do I want to try that out next week? But this going through and setting up a bullet journal, like, I already had the calendar. I already had this, so this wasn't that much of a big deal. And I still do have the A5 Day Free Hobonichi that has my list and tracking and stuff like that. So I haven't transferred everything into this. I've just been doing the basic stuff. I could do a tracker in here. I could very well do a tracker in here. But I don't know. That's something I'm still thinking about. Right now, I've been concentrating on the feel of having everything in primarily one notebook, to the point where I haven't really even messed with my tracking very much. And I debated on putting a tracker in here, maybe in the back, or putting a tracker in this, because I have some stuff right here, but I could actually put a tracker right here. So I don't know. I'm still debating on things. But I really do like having everything in one. And that got me to thinking about the Grand Central Station, like having, I've always called it that, but what it is one place, like one thing. Miss Vicky B was talking about the bullet journal. She has a 2-book method. So she has a planner, and then she has the bullet journal. And the planning is for everything that is date sensitive, time sensitive, you know, that has to do with that. And it makes me, I want to go in here and see if I can like move it all over to the left. And OBS, this is going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. No, oh God, that made it worse. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't. It's driving me absolutely nuts. Okay. But anyway, what it's made me ADHD. The squirrels are rampant. So I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee. I like having the bulk of everything on one thing. When I went grocery shopping the other day, I think I finally got it. Did I fix it? I fixed almost everything. I'm not gonna screw with it anymore right now. I'm gonna leave it alone. How about that? Thank you. My hair is a mess right now. It's raining, and it rained yesterday, and I had washed it, and it was almost dried, and I had to go out, and my car wouldn't start, so I ended up driving the SUV. The SUV won't go into 4th gear, so I can't go very far in it. So I went to Walmart, which is like 5 minutes from our house, the little Walmart that's just got the grocery stuff in it, and got our groceries and went by the bank. And then I was like, but I ended up having to have the windows like half rolled down on each side. So the wind. So then I got home and I got caught in the rain again. And then today I went to go check the mail and I got caught in the rain again. And when it rains like this, my hair gets super fuzzy and very big. And I was like, you know what? I can either fight with my hair and I can go do like the refresh and all that, or I can just say the hell with it and it's just going to be big. Yeah, perfectionism, ghost, yeah. But I got it fixed for the most part. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to a setup that really works for me. What I do realize is that when I get to this place where this can come out of here and I can actually have an insert with Tomoe River paper in it instead of this Enigma, which is really thick, I won't have as much overhang because this is a chunky monkey. It's got like almost 200 pages in it. I did take out a few of the front pages, but it still got close to like 160 pages or so. So I did order an insert from Rock Your Notebook. Embrace the sassy hair. I am embracing the sassy hair. And I was like, okay, so maybe that would work better than I don't. And I think what I'm going to do next year when I do my 12-month calendar is I'm going to get that from Paper Penguin Co., even though it's stapled, and not from Planner Perfect. I did try this out. I do like her insert. I just don't think they're worth that much money. I don't need her art. I like my own art. Fine. So I can decorate the outside of my cover myself. But I did like the setup, except I don't like a Sunday start. So I can get my 12-month calendar, whether it is or isn't on Tomaway River paper from Paper Penguin Co., and have it be a Monday start. And if it's either Midori paper or whatever, then it will at least be thinner. I could make my own insert and draw my own 12-month calendars from Tomaway River paper or from Rhodia paper, because I have a Rhodia pad of white dot grid paper, a big one and an A5. I have a big one and an A5 one. So I could make my own insert. And that would be fine. It would take up less space. So what I like the idea of having is a place where I can take this. So yeah, it wouldn't be so chunky, Jen, if I did those two things. If I got a thinner 12-month calendar insert and then had a thinner bullet journal. I'm okay with my perfectionism as long as it doesn't really show from the front, or when I open it, it doesn't matter to me, if that makes sense. You gotta have a Sunday start calendar. Tried Monday. See, I'm all about a Monday start. However, my calendar that is hanging on my wall is a Sunday start. This calendar in here is a Sunday start. The Erin Condren Wonder Woman one that I have for social media and stuff, I'm pretty sure that one's a Sunday start. So the only one that I have that isn't is my Hobonichi, and it's a Monday start. But I've been reading the one book. Let me get it. I've been reading it. And this is a really good book. Especially for somebody like me with ADHD and who has trouble focusing and has trouble with trying to get organized and stay organized. Like, I can organize things, but I don't always, but sometimes I don't know exactly where the best place for this or that to go. If you look behind me, I've been trying to go through and get things organized. And then the moment, like, I can have a creative, like a big mess around here, but I know where things are. The moment I start moving things around and organizing things, then I don't know where they're at. I end up hiding them from myself, because in the middle of the mess of everything, I know where things are. But then I can't find them once I start cleaning up things, and then that is when I have issues. So I decided that if I was going to clean up things, what I first needed to do is have a method to the organization. So if I'm going to have things organized, I need to know, okay, this is where this is going to go, this is where this is going to go. Here in Europe, there is only, at least here in Germany, you gotta have a Monday start. Most UK printed calendars start on Monday. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Sunday is the end of the week. That's the day of rest. So the first day of the next week would be Monday. Now, unless you have, like, your day of rest is on Saturday, but most people, at least here in the Bible Belt, there's a bunch of stuff closed down on Sundays. Sunday is definitely around here, the end of your week, you know? So why would you have the end of your week be the first day of the week? That's why I don't understand a Monday start, because growing up here in the South, Sunday was the day of rest. You know, it was the day that a lot of people were off. It was the day a lot of things were closed down. So Monday was the beginning of the new week. You just started daily pages again, but if it isn't working, it isn't working again. Only U.S. has Sunday start. Well, I'm in the U.S. and this doesn't make any sense to me to have a Sunday start. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, everybody's different. And, I could technically block off. I could put a piece of paper over every calendar I have that has a Sunday start and just block that off. And that would be, I wouldn't really, because Sunday is usually, that's David's only real day off. You are sure Sunday start is yet again, or I don't know if it's a religious dictation, because there are actually people who go to church on Saturdays. And so that's their day of rest. So maybe that's why some in the U.S., I don't know. There are some people who go to church on Saturdays. So that, I don't, but I could block off Sunday because that's David's only real day off. And so that's the day that we spend together. Like if we're going to grill, if it's not raining and we grill, or if we're going to like binge watch TV, or if we're going to go visit family or whatever, that's usually our day where we just kind of have, it's a R&R kind of day, for us, because he works sometimes on Saturdays. And I usually try to get things, I usually try to finalize things on Saturdays. Like if I have a video that I haven't put up or finished or whatever, I'll try to get that video up on Patreon on Saturdays. If there's still something I'm working on, I'm behind with everything this week because I've recorded 2 videos, but I did it in OBS. And I couldn't find them. And the reason I couldn't find them is because it didn't record the right way. And it recorded in a different kind of format. And Mac doesn't recognize that format. So I was like, oh, wow. So I'm just going to not do a video in video. And I'm going to record some things because there's some journaling and some watercoloring and things like that I want to do. And I want to do it in a video for Patreon. And I have a video that I want to do for YouTube. And I'm just going to rotate it 180 degrees. Because when I record with the webcam, it records upside down. So it's just going to have to record upside down. So I'm learning how to do things. It's beginning to make more sense, but it's still there. It's still there. I think that, it's still there. This is helping me because one of the things that it talks about, okay. All right. The 80-20 principle. So a lot of people have talked about that with the planning. The 80-20 principle asserts that a minority of causes, inputs, or effort usually lead to a majority of the results, outputs, or rewards. In other words, the world of success, things aren't equal. A small amount of causes creates most of the results. Just the right input creates most of the output. So it depends on the effort creates almost all of the rewards. So like if you want to put in 20% effort and get 80% rewards. Well, he goes on to talk about how instead of a to-do list, you have a success list. And he says not to get hung up on the numbers. That depending on the circumstances, it can easily play out as, say, a 90-20, where 90% of your success comes from 20% of your effort, or a 70-10, or a 65-5. And he also goes on and he talks about, like, No matter how many to-dos you start with, you can always narrow it down to one. What's your most important, the one thing that you need to get done that day? Well, when I first started reading this, I was thinking, okay, how many of us in a day, especially if you work outside of the home, whether you're a man or a woman, a mother or not a mother, or a father or not a father, if you're married or single or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you work outside of the home, not only are you going to have work things you have to do that day, but you're also going to have home things you have to do that day. You have to eat. You have to drive to work. You have to do things during your work day. And these are things that you have to do. You have to, there are things that you have to do. So my work day is more than just work, like filming or editing or uploading or researching or any of that. Also, part of my work day is doing laundry or doing dishes or running an errand or going here or there, or so that one thing, maybe I'm being too something. But he says, go small. Don't focus on being busy. Focus on being productive. Allow what matters most to drive your day. Now that I can agree with. Go extreme. Once you've figured out what actually matters, keep asking what matters most until there is only one thing left, that core activity that goes at the top of your success list. Now my core activity for some days are more home focused. Some days are more work focused. So I could think about, okay, the one thing absolutely that I need to get done today that is work focused. And then I could go on the other scale, on the other side of things, and go, okay, what is my one thing on the days that are home focused? What is my one thing that I absolutely have to do that is home focused? Because that's the problem that I have with a lot of things like this, when they break it down and then they're like the one thing. Well, the one thing, I have more than one thing to freaking do in a day. And I'm going to keep reading the book because I like what he said about multitasking and about how you're divided, your attention is divided. This is in chapter 5. I liked what he said about that. So that one made sense. So I'm on chapter 6, A Disciplined Life. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm still, but it's been making me, I'm thinking about the one thing I'm doing this week as far as what I'm in. I haven't really done much else in this one, or any of the rest of them. I have kept up with a few things in the Hobonichi A5 because that's what I started July with. So it has some of the important things. I did transfer the dates and stuff, appointments or anything. Like Victor's birthday party is this coming Sunday. And his present came in, y'all. And we got him a small electric guitar. And it has a little amp and everything. And David tuned it last night. And you should have seen it in David's hands. This little electric guitar with this little tiny amp. Yes, we have a lot of things to do, but ask yourself, what is the one thing you could do that will make everything else easier? Learn how to use the damn Mac proficiently, and all the things that come with, because it's a complete different change. Like OBS for Mac is different than OBS for Windows in some ways. But that's the thing first. Everything else is after. It's going to take me at least a week, and it's going to take a lot of trial and error for me to get to a point where I understand the workings of it. So I've been watching a shit ton of YouTube videos about iMac and about how, what I call, what is called programs is something completely, that, what I think of as the programs, and I wrote it down. Applications is what it's called in Mac. So I if I remember, the applications is actually what would be programs. then that makes sense to me. Like I was thinking, okay, I need to get to a point where I don't want all of this saved, all these videos that I'm going to be creating and things like that. I don't want them saved on my actual hard drive for the Mac. I have an external hard drive. So I've got to get comfortable enough on this iMac to get to a point where I know how to save things on the external hard drive. Hey, Tamara. And I'm still trying to do like a lot of other things too. I'm working on my novel for Camp NaNoWriMo. We're working on doing our floors in the house. That's why I don't have any nails, and my nails are all jagged, and why I took my rings off, because I was messing with stuff and I have this like rough spot right here from my rings and that stuff having so I took them off. There's like, when I think about the one thing, I can't narrow things down to like, well, I can and I can't, because that one thing is not a one-day thing. And then the thing in the house is that we need to get the floors done, but we can't do that with David working 14-hour days. The only time we can really work on that together is on the weekend. So I decided that yesterday and today was my day to rest, because we did so much work over the weekend and I was literally sore. My muscles were sore. So I decided to give myself a little bit of a rest, and then I'm going to go back to working on the floor tomorrow. I'm going to do it for a little bit, and I'm going to get up in the morning and do my morning routine and have my coffee, and I'm going to write for an hour. And if I get my 1,500 words, then great. And if I don't, then I have an hour to write, and that's how much time. And then I'm going to go start working on the floors. And I've got a couple of hours to work on the floors, and then I've got a couple of hours to get regular work done. I don't know. It's something, maybe I'll understand more as I get through more and more of the book. Because this whole book is about the one thing. And I don't know, ADHD, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm taking things too literally. I don't know. But when I think about that one thing, I'm hearing you have one thing to concentrate on for the whole day, one thing to do for the whole day. And that's impossible for me, because there's multiple things that I do in a day and that I have to get done in a day. And I think I'm taking it too literal. So I'm going to go back and reread that one section. And the whole book is about the one thing, but is the one thing like an idea, or is it a one thing? I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about. That's something I'm working on. And that's why I'm reading the book, because I do know I need to get more organized. I do know I need to have better priorities. I do know I need to work with those priorities and my organizational skills and get more done productively and efficiently, not just get a bunch of things done. I can do a bunch of things, but how efficient have I been? I want to be productive, not just busy. And that's why I'm reading the book, and why I'm questioning things, and I'm thinking about these things. And I'm going to go probably this evening or tomorrow and go to Carrie Harling's thing that she has about the book, and I'm going to read some of the responses and comments and different things like questions or whatever, and see if anybody else is having a similar issue as me. Because hopefully I'm not alone in this, hopefully I'm not alone in this. I don't know. I think you're taking it too literally. You have to do the other things, but it's about figuring out where to put most of your attention, not all of your attention. Yeah. I probably am. Most of my attention lately has been about learning the computer. And that's why I haven't touched the Windows computer, even though I could have easily have filmed and edited and got it all done, and it would have been so much quicker because that's my safety net, you know. But I won't learn the iMac if I'm constantly going back to the Windows computer because I can't figure out what I'm doing on the iMac. I'll never learn it, you know. But I did find one video, and I'm going to go and see if he has any other ones, where he was explaining he had been a PC user and he switched to Mac, and he was talking about, like, this would be the control panel. And as long as, you know, and this would be, that's where I got the applications, is what would be the programs and Windows, so that I understand what each thing is, you know, so that when I'm looking at, and how does this save things, you know, and that kind of thing. So I'm getting better. I can actually get on here and go live, and even though I messed it up in the beginning, and I don't have any idea why that caused that, but I'm getting it. As a wife, full-time employee, and a student, you have a ton of things to do in a day. If it was down to one task a day, you'd be in trouble. Yeah, and I think Susan's right. I think it's figuring out where to put most of your attention. What is your big thing? Where do you know, what's your big priority for the day? And that's what I was talking about earlier. What is my big priority for work? What's my big priority for home? Like, some days I'm more work focused, some days I'm more home focused. And I've been thinking, having our house in such disarray because of the flooring, we had to rip up flooring, we've got furniture moved, I've got dining room chairs in my living room, and, you know, things like that. And I'm thinking, yeah, my big thing right now, having things in such disarray, especially in here too, because I had to make room. My desk is almost clean and set up. I have, like, this is my mouse pad. I'm trying to figure out how to have all this arranged so that it's more efficient to use on a regular basis when I'm doing all my regular stuff, and to film with. And then when I do the bigger projects, I can film over here on the table, because I have a big tripod that I can actually use and sit it up on top of my table, and I made sure to have room. And I'm going to have to rearrange because I have, like, a light and different things like that to put. So if I'm doing that, I also have it set up so that I can flip my chair around right now until I get everything organized. And I'm actually doing my writing on Scrivener on the Windows computer. So that's the only thing that I'm using right now. I do have Scrivener for Mac, but I've got to find the code for it to set it up on my computer. And do I really want to do that? Because I have my laptop and the Windows computer set up with Scrivener and set up everything I want. So I don't know if that's something I'm going to do or not. It's figuring it all out, you know. One Book July is always a lot of fun for me because it's a month to take off from all the regular things I do and to kind of either go back to basics and figure things out, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what's working, what's not working, or it's a way for me to just go big or go home and go and just dive headfirst into things that I have not done because they're out of my comfort zone. And I can just say, okay, well, you know what? This is the month I can try it. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way, I'm going to have fun. And that's what this is all really about. You write lists. Lots of lists. Keeps your brain sane and the squirrels content. Yeah, I'm a big list person too. And that's why, like, this has been messy. And I've been making, like, you can see I underline. And I've been making, like, lists of information that I need to help me navigate through the change from Windows to Mac. You know, what do I want to do? I mean, some of it's not very difficult because I've been using the iPad and the iPhone, but that's a completely different kind of thing than this iMac, because I don't do all of the stuff on my phone or my iPad that I do on a desktop. And I'm definitely more of a desktop person. Like, I don't know that I actually even need a laptop, like a MacBook, because the iPad works so well for pretty much everything else. But I'm definitely a list person. Like, I have lists back here. So we've got things in here that we're doing right now. So this is what we're working on. Actually, I should just go ahead and put that here because we are working on that. So we're still, and I've got to... So I don't think we're going to do this, not for our bed anymore. Once we got the gel mattress topper thing, man, that thing has made our bed so much more comfortable. It's like, because I like a different kind of mattress than David does. So I thought the bed was comfortable. David didn't. Now that we've put that on the bed, this gel mattress topper, it's like 2 or 3 inches thick, and it's so comfortable. To me, it has made the bed more comfortable, but I didn't find it uncomfortable to begin with. But David did. Now that we've got that on there, he loves it. So we don't, you know, and the only reason we wanted a different mattress is because David found that mattress to be so uncomfortable. Because it's fairly new. We haven't had it for that long. But, you know, it just, you get to a point where you start to think about, like, what you're doing. And that's what One Book July has really been able to do for me, is I have different, like, I just started, I'm redoing the list because I crossed off a bunch of the things. So, it's time for me to redo my list, you know, and then... this is just blank Tomoe River paper. These inserts, this insert and the front insert are from Lulu Lime Designs, and they're gorgeous. They're Tomoe. She has the blank Tomoe River paper, which I love for everything but my bullet journaling. Like, for my bullet journaling, I actually need some kind of grid or dot grid. So the more that I think about, like, what I'm doing, the more I'm going, you know, this is making a lot of sense to me. I have this part, which is the planner part. So bills, appointments, events, anything like that, goals, lists, that kind of stuff, they're pretty much in here. This is my everyday regular journaling. Like, if I'm, like, it'll have art on it occasionally, but mostly I just write and I figure out, and I do brain dumps, and I sometimes make lists, and all different kinds of things. And then this is the art journal, and I have a sketchbook too, but this is just for something that stands out during my day. And then the bullet journal, and the bullet journal, I also take notes, and, like, if I run out of room, because I had extra room here, I can see this is canceled because that I recorded the whole thing and it didn't work. The one thing that stood out to me in Carrie's read along was that the author based this on weekly meetings and to-dos, so in essence that was based on work job. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to organize. And that's why I'm thinking, if I look at it, like Susan was saying, if I don't take it so literally, and I figure out where to put the most of my attention, you know, like, not all of my attention, but what is the one thing that I can do today that will make things easier for me for the rest of the day or the rest of the week? You know, what do I need to do to make things easier for myself, or to be more efficient, or to get the job done, whatever your one thing has to do with. And like I said, the first thing that came to mind was getting the hang of my computer, the iMac, because that's how I'm doing everything. That's why I'm live. That's why I went live on Patreon, even though, I mean, because I knew I had a basic thing, and I was like, I didn't know how to use iMovie, but I knew I could kind of just go live if I could get OBS to work, and that would make, and that, so I did live, you know, and that worked. So instead of having, like, filming and then editing, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go live, and hey, this is me, and I'm trying it out. And I'm learning, because honestly, because like this didn't work in the beginning, so it forced me, and yeah, perfectionism, it forced me to go in and go, okay, I mean, I'm not dumb, so if it's common sense, if it's something that common sense can fix, I can usually figure it out. Because this is a whole different kind of system, it's taken me a bit of thinking and going, okay, well, I'm looking at things differently. This is not Windows, so I have to readjust my thinking. And what can I do to make this work? So I just looked at OBS and went, okay, OBS, quit thinking about it as being a Mac and just think about it as being OBS. What is off kilter in OBS? And that's why I kept playing with things. I still don't have it quite right. Otherwise, my little face thing would be over in the left-hand corner. And but that's okay. I got it really close to what I wanted. So today's job for me was to figure out how to get OBS set up. Figure out how to get the Logitech control thing, which Ro helped me, and I downloaded it and I figured it out. So I need to go back in and adjust some more settings in OBS. Now that I've done this, I know that my settings aren't quite right for OBS. I like doing live videos more, especially for YouTube. I like the live videos. I do have some things that I want to film and put up on YouTube, but I really like the live videos because it's a connection that you don't get with pre-filmed videos. And I've tried the Premiere thing a couple times where you can have a pre-filmed video and then go in the Premiere and you can chat. But either my filmed videos that I put up in the Premiere, they're usually not quite long enough. People want to continue talking and it won't let you. So I just figured, you know, once I get things organized and cleaned up in here in the house, and with figuring out how to use iMac and stuff, it will be a whole lot better because I'll end up on a better schedule. Now, today is Tuesday. Thank you. Today is Tuesday. And I said I would be going live I would try to go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 2:30 and like 3 or 4 o'clock. Hey, I got on here just a couple of minutes before 4 o'clock. I was like, I was like, hello. And it was raining and it was like really cloudy and I heard some thunder. It was like, please don't. I tried to wait until it eased up some, and it did ease up some. And I was like, okay. And I had been trying to figure out OBS after talking to Ro, and I was like, I can do this. So I'm here. I got it done. I'm sorry, you know, that it was all kind of wonky in the beginning, but we're here. We got it. It's getting better. It's the integration between us and all that makes it great. Otherwise, it's just me talking to my MacBook. Yeah. And I like the connection that comes with doing live videos. Because, I mean, I have a hard enough time when I create like a coffee chat where I'm just talking and I pick a subject, or somebody has asked me a question about something and they want a coffee chat about that. And then I'm doing that and I'm looking at the computer screen and I'm like, okay, I'm pretending, excuse me, I'm pretending that there's somebody sitting right there. And, you know, there's somebody sitting right there. And I'm talking to them about it. I'm having coffee with a group of people or a person, depending on the topic. Sometimes I imagine all of you, like when I'm in the live and a lot of you that come in, I imagine the group of you and we're all sitting at this big round table and we're having coffee and we're talking about our journals and our planners and our art, our writing, or life and organization and our life and creativity, or whatever it is we're talking about. Hell, we could just be talking about coffee and Tomoe River paper and I'd be fine, you know? But that's how I feel when I film a video. So when I'm actually getting on a live and people are responding, the more, like, it takes me a couple of minutes, especially until somebody responds. Once somebody responds and I see the little words over there, I'm like, yeah, people are talking to me. And then I feel more natural on the video because people are talking to me and I'm talking to them and we're actually having a conversation. So it doesn't feel so in my face. Hello, I'm filming. And, you know, perfection is overrated. For me, the perfectionism, I have some of the perfectionism, but what I do have is a tiny bit of OCD. So when something's off kilter, like the computer screen and my video not being in line, that was more OCD than perfectionism. I keep looking at my little face in the little box and I'm like, why? I literally want to just like move it. And I can't yet. I'm going to have to figure out what's wrong with my OBS settings. And that's okay. You know, I mean, I'm okay with admitting, hey, I have a bit of this when things are off kilter. You love streaming. Your math guy said, you're streaming now. I like the streaming. I've been thinking, every time I get ready to join you on a live thing, I'm off by like the time thing, Tamara. So hopefully one day this week, if you're doing one during the day, I'll be able to join you. If not, then I'll have to join you maybe on my iPad and write. And I'll just watch on my iPad and I'll write by hand or use my laptop. And just watch you. But I think we get to like a point where the interaction, especially the last few months, has made things a little bit easier. I took a breather from social media because it was just so much. I was feeling so much coming at me all at one time with everything. And then I started to finally get back into the swing of things. And the more that I've done the live videos, the more I have felt, I'm not saying the more I have felt inside myself a bit back to normal. Not that normal is different, but it's felt more right. You'll be on Thursday at 2. Hey. Oh, yeah. All right. Sounds good. I could probably do Thursday at 2. I'll be in class. So, depending on what time you're going to be on. Until, I don't know. I have class from 1 to 3 or from 12 to 2. If it's from 12 to 2, then it won't be a problem. I feel much better when I'm interacting, and I feel much better when all of us feel much better when we know we're not alone, you know. And One Book July is such a community thing for a lot of people. I don't know, and I feel like I'm in a book club when I'm reading a book, like when we read the bullet journal method last year, or I need to see once we can interact with people again, see if there's an actual physical book club at my library when all of this, or join an online book club where people are actually like Skyping or in a video chat or something where, you know, I would like to read more books. You are loved, hun, and the trolls need to go. They help your stats. Yeah. I'm feeling a lot better, and it wasn't like I don't care about the thumbs down. That helps my analytics. I could really care less about that. But there were a couple of people who wrote some really, really nasty, rude, crude comments over a span of a little bit. And I think that's because anytime you do like videos, like live videos or filmed videos, you do put yourself out there. And I don't have, what did Cindy Cindy, what does she call it? I don't have that. Well, I do have white furniture, but it's simply because they didn't have red except in the kids department at IKEA. And black, my house is a small house, and the black would have been so it would have made this space look so very small. But my room does not look like one of those Pinterest, Instagram rooms where everything is neat and tidy and it's white and the little tiny bits of gold, and I have fairy lights, but that's so you can see the background, and because I like them. I love Christmas lights. If I could have Christmas lights up all year, I would. But my husband won't let me. Not on the outside of the house. But I'm never gonna have that aesthetic. You know, my pictures on Instagram are never gonna have that aesthetic. I don't want that aesthetic. Can I rearrange things to have a little bit better picture? Yeah, so there's not like a bunch of stuff. Oops, like you know, I could move everything around, take a picture of my roses that are back there. I have a dozen different colored roses back there. I could take a picture of that and put it on Instagram. I could put pictures on Instagram a lot more. But mine are real life pictures. Mine aren't those aesthetically pleasing that a lot of people, I don't have that. I don't think I ever really want that. This is real life. I live a creative life. I am a creative person. I use my space. I don't have a separate space where I do all the work and I make all the mess, and then a space where I'm actually taking the photos and it all looks real pretty. All of this is where I do all of my creative shit other than on our couch. And when I'm on the couch, there's a backpack right beside me down on the floor, and then everything is like spread out around me or on the coffee table. And my husband will tell you, I leave a little trail wherever I'm at in the house. If I'm in a bedroom, I try to keep it more like local because I don't want it spread out. But my husband has woke up a couple times where he's turned over and rolled over onto a book because I was reading in bed. You know, he'll save my space and he'll put the book on the dresser. You know, I mean, it's real life. And when I chose to do this, I made a conscious choice not to follow all the, they are extremely, extremely staged. I chose not to follow what all the YouTube gurus and everybody else was saying that you have to do. I want to grow on YouTube. And once I get the Mac down, I will start maybe making better thumbnails in Canva. Like I'll take pictures and I'll make better thumbnails. But to be honest, I mean, I use TubeBuddy a lot of times to make my thumbnail and to, for the videos. But there's a lot of things that I could do. But the more that I figure out, like, okay, I could do this. But how much time and effort does it take to do all of that? I think people will gradually, organically find me if I am the kind of thing that they're looking for or that they need to find. You know, I think it'll happen organically and gradually. If I have to spend a whole lot of time doing all of these things that all these gurus are saying that you have to do in order to grow, then I'm doing that for the numbers. I'm not doing it because I love it and enjoy it. So when I get to the point where I can make I can make better thumbnails in Canva, I'll do it. But until then, I could give a shit less about it as long as my thumbnail is a decent picture and it shows you pretty much what I'm doing. I'm okay with that. And if people want, if what people want are like these drop dead gorgeous thumbnails, you know, are these really cool animated whatever, that's not me, and that I'm not the channel that they need to be looking for anyway, you know, or watching or whatever. You know, I don't know. It just, that's how it feels to me. I don't want, if I have the time to do it, I'll do it. If I don't have the time, I'd rather spend my quality time of doing things. I'd rather spend it creatively or intuitively or efficiently or whatever, doing the things that really matter to me, and having a pretty thumbnail is a benefit, not a necessity, if that makes sense. That, to me, that's how I look at it. Would I like to be able to have somebody create all of that stuff for me and do all of those things for me? Yeah, I would love to. And my channel would grow a lot more if I did all of those things, but I wouldn't have time to do the rest of the shit that I really love and enjoy, or spend enough time with my family, or clean my house. I would be spending all my time doing all those fancy things that are not really necessities to me. You were one of my first channels I found that helped me find my love again for art and journaling, and even started my bead shop. Love you so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. That's exactly why I do this. Because it doesn't, whatever kind of creativity it is that you enjoy, you think makes sense for your videos. Yeah. I feel like whatever kind of creativity it is that you do, or you want to do, that's what you need to be doing. If it's writing more than art in your journals, great. If it's actually writing a book, wonderful. If you're like me, you want to write the book and illustrate stuff, yes. If you're an avid journaler, if it's text journaling or combining art or just ephemera and pictures or whatever it is you do, if you crochet, if you knit, if you music, if you create jewelry, whatever it is that you do, if you pick up the pen, you pick up the pencil, pick up your tools, pick up whatever it is, your sewing machine, get your sewing machine out of the closet, out of the shed. You know, if whatever it is, be creative in whatever way suits you, but be creative, because we all have the capacity to be creative. So if I've helped anybody pick up a pen, pick up a paintbrush, pick up a pencil, get their sewing machine out of their closet, or their knitting needles, or their crochet needles, or whatever it is, because I don't just journal, I don't just write, I don't just create art. I used to crochet. I can't really anymore because of the arthritis in my hands. I used to do a lot of different things. Like, I've always wanted to make a quilt, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how I would like to take some of the t-shirts and stuff, and maybe make a quilt, make one of those t-shirt quilts. Get the sewing machine out of our shed, which we've got to do. We just haven't had time after the leak in the floor. Yeah, we're concentrating on that right now. But I mean, you know, there are different things, and I think if we could just be creative, we'd all, in some way, shape, or form, we'd all be a lot happier. I used to, before I wrote a lot of poetry during the years where I didn't create art and I wasn't writing fiction. I wrote a lot of poetry. And it soothed my soul during that time period, because I needed to be creative and I needed to write. I needed an outlet for that creativity, and it was poetry. I did that for, must have been 20 years. Before that, I journaled, really journaled, and I drew, I doodled, and I created art. Then being a parent and an adult, I was busy adulting, and I ended up divorced and was raising my kids, you know, without being in the 2-parent unit, and doing it by yourself is rough. And I didn't so I did do some things that were creative, but I was busy working. A lot of my creative outlet came with my kids, when I would sit down and color with them, or sit down and play board games with them, or sit down and create and make things with them. And that was how I would color in coloring books with them, and that was pleasurable to me. The more my daughter got into art, the more that I was like so happy that she did. And the more that I realized that I felt like I was kind of missing something. And when I got back into art as an adult, when David and I were engaged, we were living together and we were planning our wedding, I started making a lot of the things for our wedding myself. I made the bouquets out of sheet music. I made the roses out of sheet music. I'd made our invitations myself. I made some of the decorations. We made all kinds of things ourselves. And I got back into that. I was looking up videos on YouTube. My daughter was like, Mom, look up video, so I went, found like different things. And I had started right after David and I got married. I got back into NaNoWriMo. And I found some of my people for NaNoWriMo on YouTube. And I was on YouTube watching and commenting on videos way before I ever posted a video. Because I kept looking and looking and looking for somebody, or at least a person, who was doing videos who was remotely close to my age. Because I was in my early 40s then. And this was, but almost 10 years ago. It was 9 years ago. And I found a couple of people. And then within that year, by the next year, that's when I created my first YouTube video. And I was like, oh, wow. NaNoWriMo, yes. And I found Tamara and Maya and a lot of other people. And how I found some of them was I found some people that led me to some other people that led me to some other people. And that's, I was like amazed. And it led me to the planning community and the journaling community, because one of the tags for NaNoWriMo that year was, how do you journal? And if so, how many journals do you have? Because a lot of writers journal. A lot of writers have like their thoughts and ideas about their novels and their characters and stuff in a journal. And they're constantly writing down ideas, because you always have new ideas. Even if it's not about that novel, it could be about a different novel. And I was doing that, writing, and I shared the video about my journals, and I had a shit ton of them. And at that time, I was journaling before that was ever like a thing. I added bits and pieces of regular everyday ephemera, receipts, ticket stubs, pictures, stuff like that into my text journaling pages. But I wasn't creating art. And that led me down the road to Hobonichis and art and daily, all that good stuff. But I'm a happier person now because I'm creative. I'm a much happier person. I feel like I don't have as much time to devote to all of the things that I love to do. So I do have to pick not necessarily one thing, but I do have to sort of balance things so that I have time to do the things that are important, so that I can create art and write in one day, do both of them, so I have to have time limits, and whatever I can get done in that amount of time, but I don't always necessarily, like, sometimes I'll do my writing in the evening, if I'm feeling like, if I feel so inclined, I will. I don't have like a strict, rigid routine. I've definitely been on a journey, and David has been saying since the very beginning, when I very first started creating art, that I ought to create a mid-grade to elementary school age children's book, and illustrate the things myself. And that's something I don't know that I will do it for publication, but I really do want to create one for my grandkids. But it's something I've been thinking about. That's what I want to do for the nonfiction book about creative journaling, is do my own illustrations. So, my journey has been one that has been quite, it is not what I expected. If you'd asked me 7 years ago, all I wanted was to get my books finished and publish them, either self-publishing or traditional publishing. Art was a pastime. It was more of a hobby. Now, it's flipped. And I think the reason it's flipped is because art relaxes me. Art puts me in that zone where the anxiety lessens, and the more that I can at least do that every day, like if I can create some kind of art, even if it's just swatching watercolors and doing little doodles of food or whatever, that relaxes me and it eases my anxiety. And so writing sometimes does not ease my anxiety, it causes anxiety. So writing's become more of the hobby, more of the. So I don't know. And that's subject to change. A year from now, it could be completely different. A year from now, it could be that writing is back to being more in the forefront, and the other stuff, art, is back in the, So it just depends. But I don't think I'll ever not be creative in some way. I can't imagine. Has anybody got any questions? And a couple of people have dropped off. But I'm excited. This one, everything pretty much being in one traveler's notebook. I do think it has made me stronger, because sometimes, and I've said this before with things, sometimes what we think we want is not necessarily what we need. And that happens a lot, I think, in life. And when you go through, I went through a big struggle trying to figure out whether or not writing full time was, you need a creative outlet outside of books. Reading is a big thing for me, but I find myself, if I get in the mood, especially when things are rough, if I get into a book, I will put everything else aside and I won't do anything but read that book. Like I'm that meme, just one more chapter and it's, 10 chapters later and you finish the book and you haven't had any sleep at all. I'm that meme. Sometimes if I get too much into a book, I won't want to do anything else but read that book. I don't want to put that book down. Tamara, you can message me on Facebook. I just haven't been on social media a whole lot lately because we've been busy with the house. But yeah, I'll check it. So, it's just, I feel like I've kind of come around, because when I was young, I wrote fiction, short stories, poetry, and I was a big, I doodled and drew pictures, and I did a lot of sketching, and I did a lot of sketching and doodling, and that all ended up in a journal, and my poetry was in that journal, everything was in that journal. So I think I've actually kind of come full circle in a way, but to a much better place, because I'm older and I've got that wisdom, and a lot of trial and error. And I learned a whole lot. But I don't know. I mean, but I don't know that it's about arriving anywhere. I hate to say that cliche thing, but it's not really about the destination. I don't feel like I've completely arrived anywhere yet. I think I'm still on my journey, and I'm enjoying the journey. Years ago, I quit thinking about when I was going to get there, or how was I going to get there, or why wasn't I there yet? Are we there yet, Mom? Are we there yet? I don't ask that. I don't even think about that. Now I'm trying to just enjoy the journey and having fun with it. And I was taking myself way too seriously for a couple of years in between. But especially the last few months, I'm just enjoying the ride. now, and I'm having fun with it, and I'm learning what does and doesn't work for me, and what brings me joy, and what is just okay. I mean, it works, but it's just okay. And I don't want something to, I mean, I want things to work, but I don't want just okay. I don't want to settle for just okay. I want to settle for, I don't want to settle. I want things that bring me immense joy and that make me happy and that make me want to be more creative and that inspire me to do more and to be more. And that's what, I don't know, that's where I'm at now. That's what these last few months have really led me to, is that to quit overthinking everything except for the one thing, which doesn't make, I'm trying to learn, and iMac. But that's my tendency, is to analyze and I tend to overthink. So I'm making it a priority to enjoy. Age gives you experience. You're 45 and now react completely differently to how you would have 20 years ago. Time has mellowed. Yeah. Oh, most definitely. I will be 53 this month. And 20 years ago, when I was about to be 33, the ideas that I had, my thought processes, it was much more go, do. I need. Now I'm like, oh no, I didn't need any of that shit. I don't need any of that. All I need to do is relax, live life, enjoy it, have some fun, spend time with my family and creating art and writing and fix the damn shit in our house. I'm just like, okay, when all of this was going on with the flooring and stuff, we had some issues over the weekend. Shit that didn't want to work. And I'm like, I just looked at my husband and I was like, I looked at David and I was like, yeah, how many damn screws? Because every time we turned around, because we had to rip up carpet from the hallway, and they have these wood planks with these little nails and then these cement screws. And so it left holes in our cement. And I'm like, then I'm finding the screws, and I keep picking the screws up off the floor because they had gotten, like, we yanked the carpet up, so it's like they're, and I just laughed, and I was like, so how many screws? He's like, I don't know, but I think maybe we found most of them, because I had flip-flops on. I had to take off my flip-flops and put on regular shoes because the nails would go through my flip-flops. Same here at the age of 45. Yeah. So, like, 20 years ago, I'd have been mad. I'd have been yelling and fussing and cussing because, I stepped on a screw, or, I couldn't, they were going everywhere. I'd have been mad as hell that this happened to begin with, and I'd have been, like, super angry. And David still kind of gets that way with certain things. Like, he takes it personally when things break, or when things don't work well, when you're fixing something or you're doing something. He's a decade younger than me. And he's still like, so he's mellowing, he's super mellow for the most part, but not when it comes to fixing something. Like if he's fixing something, he takes it personal if everything doesn't go well. God forbid. That when you're in the middle of fixing something because something broke, and then something goes wrong or breaks when you're in the middle of fixing, he's taking it personal. He's like, man, can I get a break? And I'm like, it's not against you personally. And I'm like, and as long as you are feeling all this negativity, it's going to be more negativity. I'm like, the glass is half full, baby. I'm like, and as long as we got a glass, we can we can put some more in it. I'm like, and he keeps me grounded, and I keep him sane whenever because otherwise he's the most mellow, laid back person you'd ever meet. But don't give him tools and put him to work fixing something, because he's already upset because it broke. And then if things don't go completely well, then he's going to get, that's just, but everybody's different. My dad used to be that way. My dad was really laid back, but my dad hated working on cars. And so the moment that he had to work on a car, my dad was just already frustrated because he didn't like to do it, but he knew he had to do it. And So you would take the most mellow, laid back person with an immense amount of patience, but if you put them to work on something that they, one, don't really like to do, but it's a necessity, then, it's like their feathers are a little bit ruffled, and so I don't know, it's opposite though, because normally David's the more laid back person, and I'm more the serious, intense kind of person. But when it comes to fixing things, it's the opposite. I'm the more laid back person, and he's the more serious and intense person. So we work really well for each other, But how I've feisty too. Yeah, and I think one of David's best friends told me after we were in here, because he had been in Afghanistan when David and I got married. And when he came back and, we met and we were talking and stuff, and he said, he said, not that David is an adult, but he said, but being a homeowner and being that kind of an adult is a lot different than being just an adult. He said, once you become a homeowner and you have like the family and you're a homeowner, he said, it's more than about just you. It's, you have a whole different realm of responsibility. Yeah, I got that. Feisty. It's a whole different realm of responsibility. And, I lived in apartments. I was a single parent. I lived in apartments for a long time. And I grew up in the same house my whole life, pretty much. From the time I was like 5 until I was 22, 21, 22, something like that. But my kids moved a lot because we moved to different places because, trying to find a job or whatever. But I wanted to settle down. When David and I moved in together and we started working on this house, I was like, finally I can be, a home. And we have come a long way, because when we first moved in here, we didn't have a fridge or a working stove. And I can tell you one thing, I can cook the hell out of some food in an electric frying pan, and I love a crock pot, but it takes forever to cook things like grits or ramen noodles or anything like that in a crock pot. A crock pot is a slow cooker. And we didn't even have a microwave. I was so glad when we got a microwave and we got the stove like working in the house. And we ended up borrowing like a mini fridge until we could afford to get a big fridge. So yeah, we've went through a lot. And eventually, we've got a new roof on the house. We've put flooring in the kitchen and flooring in the little bathroom. But this leak caused us to have to do flooring sooner, and we were looking at our options. And we decided to DIY hardwood floors since we live on a slab. And I don't want more nails in the concrete. Putting hardwood floors on cement would be more nails into the concrete, more cement screws or whatever. So we went looking online to how to do DIY hardwood flooring, and we came up with these different things of people painting hardwood floors onto the cement. There are also what people are doing, it's like paper bag flooring, all different kinds of things that you can do. Because originally David was thinking about getting Pergo, but we could afford to do the Pergo, but we wouldn't be able to afford to fix my dad's truck at the same time. And the longer my dad's truck sits, the more we're going to have to fix on it. So we decided that we'd research other options, and that's how we found the DIY hardwood flooring. And that would be like so fun. I mean, we thought, oh wow, we could do this ourselves. Much more work than you think it's going to be though. And it's not the actual painting of the floors, it's getting everything ready to paint that is a lot of work. Ripping up carpet, ripping up linoleum, filling in holes and gashes and things like that. And so we're excited though, because I think it's going to be really pretty when we're done with it, and we won't have to replace the flooring. All we would have to do is to maybe buff it and maybe put another layer of a clear coat on it later on. you know, so I'm excited. I think it's going to look really good. And it's something that, it's a project that he and I get to do together. And I guess maybe if he's, you know, wants to be feisty and cuss and fuss too much, I'll just put in my earbuds and listen to music. So, but I need to get going. I've got some food I need to start cooking for dinner. It is I have been on here for an hour and 40 minutes, y'all. So I'm so glad it all worked out. And I'm really loving the setup. I've got some more stuff to show y'all. Some more stuff. But I'm going to have to do that in a different live video. And I'm going to figure out, do I really want to like start something else? Or do I really want to just stick with this? But maybe, maybe just switch out the insert that is causing this to be like super thick. And maybe once the Rock Your Notebook insert gets in, then I'll take this one out and maybe use it up later on when things aren't in here that make it so thick. I'm so glad y'all are here. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad. I'm having a blast, like just doing what I'm doing, like, you know, figuring things out and having fun with it. Excuse me. And not taking myself so seriously. And other than taking books literally. You're glad you caught. Thanks so much, Tamara. I'll be on live again Thursday. Oh, I'm so sorry. It'll be in the replay, but I will warn you, in the replay, the video's like jacked in the beginning. Like the picture's pretty, but the picture's off kilter. It's askew. It's askew. My video was askew. Thank you. I love my Snoopy stuff. Y'all have a great one, and I'll see you again Thursday. And bye, y'all. Let's get my mouse to work.